Hey, this is Jimmy Archer with InsideTriathlon.com, and I'm here with Ryan Ignatz. We're going to be telling you a little bit about Xterra transitions and what we got in our bag.
So when I go down to the transition area, I pretty much already know what's in there. I carry a lot of stuff, but when I finally am done with my transition setup, I try to be very minimal in what I leave. That way it's the same every time. But when I come down, I basically just come and I dump everything out. Typically.
When it comes up.
And then what I do is I methodically start putting everything back. So it helps when you undo the top. So I pretty much know everything that's usually in there.
And this is Ryan's transition area.
Yeah, and so what I do is I think about the different sports. So I'm probably going to warm up, so I have my warm-up shoes. So I'll go ahead and put those on. And I think everybody probably doesn't like it, the way I do this, but I like to take up some room and then sort of streamline. And so what I'll do is I'll set up all my bike stuff. So I'll get my glasses ready, and then I'm one of the few in the sport that kind of carries over from road triathlon. So I usually put my cycling shoes on my bike, and I have some transition hooks that I use for that. Depending on whether it's a wetsuit swim or not, I'll either have my kind of fast skin suit, or I have a wetsuit. And so let's say it's a wetsuit swim, I'll put that away, and I want to make sure I know I've got my swim goggles, my swim cap, so I'll put that in my swim area. And I always have a jacket for later, or if it starts to rain. And if it's cold, like at Tahoe, I'll have my hat, and then I'll have my race suit, because I usually come with something else to warm up with. And then I'll have my couple of gels that I'll use, and my Vaseline, and extra sunglasses. I'll have my more bike stuff that I'll put on my bike. Got my tube, which I end up taping on my bike, so I'll keep that here. And these are the gels I'd put on my bike. And what I'll do is I'll finally finish out my transition area by having my run shoes. I'll have my race number. I always put it underneath so that it doesn't blow away, and my gel. And then I'm pretty much ready to go. I've got extra stuff just in case. I've got like a magic marker in case I don't get a chance to get body marked. I've got extra food. I've got salt tablets, salt stuff, zip ties, rubber bands, extra timing chip stuff, anything you could need in a transition area, tape, electrical tape, all that kind of stuff. But I won't really need that. And by the time I'm done, pretty much got some food, and of course Vaseline, really important for any kind of chafing. And once I'm done with that, pretty much ready to go. What do you have?
I'm not quite as organized as Ryan. Now, I always keep stuff pretty simple. So I've got my wetsuit bag in case it's a wetsuit swim. Sometimes the call comes a little bit late on that. So I almost always have my wetsuit, even if it is almost for sure not going to be a wetsuit swim. I'll have it. Maui is about the only place that I won't bring a wetsuit just in case. Always start off with a transition towel, because I'm going to come out of the water and put my shoes on before I get on the bike. It's mountain bike shoes. It's almost impossible to find something that doesn't have a buckle system now. So when you're on the bike, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to be trying to reach for that buckle and actually get it in a small slot. So I just put them on. I feel like I get more time, save more time having the shoes just sitting in transition. So in my swim bag, I'll have my wetsuit. I'll have a couple of pairs of goggles just in case the strap breaks. And then I'll have my body glide if I need it. And this is a shock pump. You don't get these on road stuff because we don't have any suspension. But what you can do with the shock pump is change your pressure in your front shock and your rear shock. Usually you get that dialed in the days before the race, but just in case something changes, you feel like you want it a little bit harder or softer, you can fine tune right at the last minute. Then I'll have my bike shoes, my helmet. You're always going to want gloves in an Xterra because the bumpiness of a mountain bike ride tear up your hands a little bit. So it's always good to have some gloves. I always have my glasses. Usually put these in my water bottle cage right here so that I can put them on the run or on the ride, like as we're going. I like to bring some electrical tape because you never know what you're going to need. You can do pretty much anything with electrical tape. Main thing is you're going to tape your tube, you're going to tape your nutrition to your bike. I'll bring a little extra nutrition, power bar, power gels, stuff like that, just in case sometimes you get hungry when you're waiting around for a race and you want a little something. I'm Irish, so I always got my sunblock. This is only 30. Usually I bring 50, but something that's going to stay on in the water. But always need that, especially after the race. It's nice to have it when you come in your transition bag. You can go and put some sunblock on so you're not fried the next day. After that, got my race suit, which of course you're going to have to put on before the race. Got a visor that I'll use on the run. I've got my running shoes. And then last but not least, it's the podium jersey.
Yeah.
Got
always extra clothes.
Hopefully you're out there, you're going to do well. Usually don't have time to run back to the motel and get your stuff together. And it's good to have something to change into after the race. And last but not least, I forgot the race number. But you just toss that. Usually have that in my running shoes. And that's pretty much it. You've got anything swim oriented with the wetsuit, with the race suit, my goggles, body glide. I've got my bike stuff, shoes, helmet, and gloves, pretty much all I put on, and my glasses. All that will be pretty much on the bike except for the shoes. And then you have your running shoes and your race number, and maybe a visor if it's sunny out, and you're ready to roll. Basically keep it simple. In and out, you don't need, a whole bunch of stuff like laying around confusing you when you come in and out transition.